Hey guys, Libby here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight I am hosting family dinner at my house. It happens every month and it's just a potluck where everybody brings a dish and we get to share it together, which is going to be really nice. I haven't hosted in a while because the kitchen was being renovated, but now that we are finished, I am going to have everybody over and we are going to share a meal and just enjoy each other's company. Since I'm the one hosting, I figure I should probably put a little bit more effort in, have a little bit more food available, and if I have any leftovers, which I kind of fingers crossed want some leftovers, that'll just be an added bonus. I am going to be using a bunch of recipes that I've never tried before, which is always the best thing to do when you have people coming over, but it's my family, so if it doesn't turn out, at least there'll be other food available. It's kind of my thought process. So it's kind of a prime time to test out some different foods. The recipes I'm going to be using, I will make sure to link everything down below, but I'm kind of taking little bits and pieces from different recipes and combining them together to make something, which is a smart thing to do when you've never actually made any of the recipes before, but I feel like I've been cooking a while and baking. I have a bit of an instinct, and that instinct could be totally wrong, but you know, I'm going to indulge a little bit. So today I'm going to be making some Japanese dumplings. This is based off a recipe from Recipe Tin Eats. I am going to give that a shot, and I'm also going to make a chow mein, and those will be the two main meal options that I'm going to bring. It's at my house that I'm going to have available. The other thing is that I will also be doing the dessert. Now, usually whoever's birthday it is that month will do dessert, but October for my family is clear at the moment, so I figured since no one's going to be thinking to bring it, I will make something. And since it's spring and I really have been wanting to take advantage of some of the spring flavors, I've decided I'm going to make a lemon cake with lemon curd and a strawberry frosting. Now, two of the recipes are from Sally's Baking Addiction, which I've made before. I haven't made these specific recipes, but I've used many of her recipes before, and she just always hits really well. So I'm going to do a lemon cake, and that's based on this lemon layered cake that she has in her recipes. So I'm going to make a lemon curd based off a recipe from Sally's Baking Addiction again. And then for the strawberry frosting, I'm doing it based off a recipe from King Arthur's Baking Company. They have these strawberry lemonade bars, and I didn't have any strawberries that I could make them because that was originally the plan. I really wanted to take that strawberry icing that it has. So I'm gonna put those three different recipes together and hopefully make a really lovely, delicious cake. I'm also not a cake decorator, so this is not gonna look amazing. But yeah, I've never done this before, so I'm hoping that it will turn out nice, but if it doesn't, totally fine. Nobody in my family is going to be overly upset because they're not expecting this cake, but also there's going to be enough food that if I stuff up anything with my main meal, it's not that big a deal. The first thing that I'm going to do is start with that cake because the cake can be sitting and cooling for a while. You can't frost or anything a cake until it is completely cool, otherwise everything will melt up. So I figured I can start that one. Then I will work on the lemon curd. I'm not going to do the frosting until closer to when I'm actually going to assemble the cake. And then I'll start working on my dumplings, and the chow mein I won't make until just before I'm going to serve it because it's pretty much one that you serve immediately afterwards. So I've given myself quite a few things to do, but I can do a lot of it beforehand. And it also has the opportunity I can take breaks as needed because I still have a little newborn baby. So this is a little bit ambitious, I would say. But you know what, go hard, go home. So we're going to give it a shot, and it's all going to turn out lovely and perfect, and we're going to have a wonderful dinner. So I'm starting off by making this cake, and I'm weighing out the ingredients because that's just how it is in Sally's Baking, and I'm trying to get better at weighing it. I just feel like you get a more consistent product if you do that. So again, recipe is linked down below, but this cake actually turned out really nice. And this is where I make a mistake because I mix the dry ingredients into my mixing bowl, realize I need to actually use that mixing bowl for the wet ingredients. So I quick switch bowls and then start working on my wet stuff. But yeah, this cake was really nice. The batter itself was really lemony, but when it was cooked, it actually had a really subtle and light, fluffy texture and flavor. So it was really a nice thing to have considering it had been a bit warmer this day. Here I'm just creaming the butter and the sugar, adding in the eggs. I also add in vanilla. I had a comment to my husband that people that measure vanilla out in teaspoons and stuff, I just don't get it. I'm a complete eyeball kind of person when it comes to adding the vanilla. I also just check to make sure that everything is mixed in nicely before I start adding in the dry ingredients, which you're supposed to add in slowly, and then it starts all coming together. And then I also need to add in the lemon itself. So I'm not very familiar with using lemon zest, but I'm trying to get better. I feel like the lemon zest really gave it a real big punch along with the lemon juice. And these were from fresh lemons that I had picked up that needed to be used, so it was really nice. Now my cake tins though, I only had one 9-inch, which I probably doubled the batter just so that I would have enough, and then I used this 8-inch, which not ideal. I need to invest in getting some better pans for this. But I popped them in the oven, and I think they were in for about 25 to 35 minutes. While the cakes are in the oven, I'm going to start working on that lemon curd because I need to kind of spend a bit of time mixing it over a double boiler, and then it can sit in the fridge for a while. So figure maximize my time. My baby is having a really good nap right now, so we're going to try and get as much done as we can. So we'll do the lemon curd now, and then I'll show you as the cakes come out. They'll probably come out while I'm making the curd, which hopefully won't be a mistake because I know that you have to mix a lot, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm also not going to add any salt into this recipe just because I'm using a salted butter. Well, I mean, a dairy-free version of it, but we're going to see if this works. I'm hopeful. I tasted the cake batter mix and it tastes really good and real lemony. Got that really just nice tartness with a lot of sweet. So I'm hoping that this lemon curd, if it is really good, not too sour, then I can add it in. But worst case scenario, I just don't add it in if it doesn't work for the cake. This lemon curd, I'm not going to lie, absolutely delicious. I did make it dairy free, and I wonder if that might have affected things. But I tried to do this double boiler, and I don't have a pan, so I used this nice bowl, which I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have, but I mixed some lemon juice, eggs, and sugar, and I just got to make sure that the eggs don't scramble. Now, I think my eggs might have scrambled a little bit, but that's totally fine. Once it all came together and it kind of thickened up, and it really did not thicken up. The recipe said it would. I just was running out of time, so I added in my butter off the boiler, mixed it in. It didn't really get thicker here, so I'm thinking that this is a dud. But anyway, I added to a bowl, and then I put plastic wrap over the top of it just to prevent it getting the skin. So then you pop it in the fridge, and I put this in the fridge for a couple of hours. And honestly, it tasted amazing. But these are the cakes that have come out, and they look really nice. Look at that nice coloring. The smaller one came out first because it took less time. The bigger one obviously took a little bit more time, but they're very beautiful, and they just slipped right out of the pans. To be fair, I did put a bit of time and effort into making sure that they didn't stick to the pans, but I'm very happy with them. I wish that I had bigger pans. The cakes are out of the oven now, and they look really good. In fact, my whole kitchen just has this lovely fresh lemon smell, and I love it. It's so good. So the plan is, since the baby is still napping, we're going to start working on our dumplings. I had a reread of the recipe just to make sure that I was ready for everything. So I'm going to get everything into a bowl, and then we're going to try and start wrapping these dumplings. I make no guarantees that they will look anything amazing, but we're gonna give it a good shot. I have a couple of hours still until dinner, and I've kind of calculated my time when I need to start working on everything, so I can get the dumplings done now. I can relax, spend time with my family, probably feed the baby a couple of times, and then I can start working on that chow mein, which looks pretty simple. It's just getting all the ingredients ready to throw it together, which probably the hardest part of the dumplings. So I'm just gonna get that going while the going is still good. For the vegetables for the dumplings, I'm just adding in the shredded cabbage. I'm chopping it up pretty fine because they're little dumplings, so you have to kind of fit everything in. So the smaller the pieces, the better. And with the cabbage, after I chop it up, I put it into a bowl, and then you salt it because you're trying to draw as much moisture as you can out of it. To kind of massage it in, and then you just let it sit to the side for about 20 minutes. And then that's when I start working on the rest of the ingredients for this dumpling. So you're supposed to use pork mince, but I only had like beef mince. I even went out to my garden and got this green onion. So this is like a warm, lovely green onion. It's so strong of a smell. I did wash it, and then I just chopped it up, and I have tossed it in. I don't think this was exactly the way the recipe was written, but this is what I have, and that's how I was just going to do it. Whatever I had, that's how I was going for it. So you add in like a bunch of your seasonings. I think it's soy sauce. Then there's some sesame oil in there. Some garlic powder. I didn't have actual garlic, so I just threw in some garlic powder. Salt, pepper, and ginger was the other thing that I added in. And honestly, this was a really tasty dumpling. I really liked the flavors and how they came together. Oh, and you add cornstarch too before you add in your cabbage. Now, my cabbage didn't really release a lot of water, but it's fine. It tasted really well. You mix it with your hand, and then you get your little dumplings. And this was new to me. Get your dumpling, you put it in your hand, you wet like a semicircle, and then you add in your filling, and then you press it together. There is probably some fancy way of doing it, but I don't know how to do that. And if you don't wet it properly, it doesn't seal properly. And that's cornstarch on that tray, just in case you're wondering. All of these like dumpling wrappers, they all had cornstarch on them. So I'm assuming it's just what they use, but I just start going for it. I think in the end, I got about, I want to say like 40 or just under 40 dumplings. So they come in a pack of 30, and I had some in the freezer, which I was just testing out if you can even freeze dumpling wrappers, but you can. So they turned out really nice. I'm actually quite happy with how they look. It's later in the day. I need to really start working on things. Baby woke up, so that's been most of my afternoon, but I need to get things done now because I've got less than an hour before people arrive, and I do not have all my components completed. So I need to work on my buttercream. I need to get that going. Once the buttercream is done, I am then going to work on getting all my ingredients ready for the chow mein. And that should come together pretty quickly, but I want all the components together because I feel like that's going to probably be the part that takes up the most time. And then I will have the dumplings going simultaneously at some stage during that chow mein. So buttercream, and then I also still need to put the cake together as well, thinking about it. I haven't checked on my lemon curd, so I'll do that in a moment, probably once I get the buttercream going. And then I need to set up my table anyway. So there's a few things on my list. I have less than an hour to go. Even if I'm still doing stuff when people come, that's not that big of a deal, especially like for dinner and stuff, because I imagine probably 15 minutes to like half an hour of people arriving, because that's just how it happens in my family. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine, but I need to get going right now. And I do have the baby with me, so definitely going to slow me down. So buttercream, and we'll go from there. To start this buttercream, I'm using freeze-dried strawberries. I assume that's just because it doesn't add too much moisture to your buttercream, but I rolling pin it down, just kind of flatten it so it's crushed up, and then I add in my Nuttelex. It's not a real butter, so I don't think the consistency is perfect, but it's close enough. You also add in your icing sugar and mix it all together. So as you can see, it's not actually a whole heap of icing here. I add in the soy milk and then some vanilla essence, but I'm looking at it and going, you know what, I think this cake is going to need some more buttercream. So I just add more butter and more icing sugar. And to be honest, it came out really nice. I wish that I had maybe put more freeze-dried strawberries into it to give it more of a pow hit, but it still looks really good and pretty. Now I'm starting to work on the chow mein sauce. By now, my family's actually arrived because the baby needed another feed, and it's just how it goes. My timing was so off this time, and that sucked, but it's just how things go. So I just add in all my ingredients, I give it a good mix, and then I have this cornstarch slurry that you need to have on the side, just water and cornstarch, which is just going to thicken things up. So I have a pan going on the stove, and that's where I start putting in the dumplings. And then the other water is for the chow mein noodles, which for some reason that footage disappears. But with the dumplings, you pop it into the pan, you cook it for a little bit, and then you pour water in and cover it with a lid. So as you can see here, this is after I've poured water in, and the water has to kind of completely evaporate. It cooks the inside, it softens the dough, and then you pull it out. I didn't have the best of luck pulling it out, and I think that's just because my cast iron probably didn't have enough oil on the bottom of it to pull everything out neatly. I'm also feeling very rushed because my family's all here, and I'm trying to entertain at the same time. So I have some beef mince in here. I've added some garlic powder, and then you add a couple of tablespoons of this sauce that we've created, and you mix that all in, and that kind of caramelizes together. And as I'm doing this, I'm also watching the dumplings. So in that sauce now, I've added that cornstarch slurry. That's going to thicken it up when I end up adding it to my chow mein. So you add in your veggies. I've chopped up some cabbage. This is some Chinese cabbage. I've got some green onions in there and some carrots. And I could not fit everything in this pot. I had a really nice cast iron enamel one, but it is so scratched that I feel like we're eating metal, so I need to get a new one. But I'm trying to do this in batches. I add in my vegetables to soften while I mix in my meat into the noodles that I've prepared, while at the same time getting these dumplings. And look at this presentation. This is terrible. It's just bad. I also added in some bean sprouts that I had started about a week ago, specifically for this dish. And then I add in the sauce that's been allowed to thicken with the vegetables and just kind of mix it in. And it was really difficult because I doubled this recipe. It looks really good, but I doubled this recipe and it was really difficult. So this is everything all laid out. There's some rice that I made because my brother needed it. This is a chicken and chorizo dish. Then you got my dumplings. So my mum brought the chicken. My brother needed the rice for his butter chicken. It was a spicy one. And then there's my chow mein. But all of it all together, and it was really super yum. So this is my plate. There's also a salad that I hadn't put out, but yeah, very, very delicious. And after we had eaten, I'm like, let me put this cake together because I hadn't had a chance to put it up. So I get the cake and I cut the 9-inch one in half because I felt like it was the thickest and we didn't need a heap of cake. And my lemon curd, look how beautiful and bright and vibrant. This just turned out beautiful. And it is so tasty. I wasn't even sure it was going to set, but I think it did a great job. And then I put my buttercream into a plastic bag because I don't have piping bags. And I should have piped a circle before I added my curd, but I was feeling rushed and just trying to get this done. So I pop on the top and I'm thinking, oh, what design am I going to do? And I realize I'm not doing a design. I am just going to shove all of this buttercream on top. And it's not going to look the prettiest, but it's going to taste yum and everybody's going to be able to eat some. So I just shove it on. I don't even have like an offset spatula. I just use a normal one. And I'm just quick putting it on so that at least there's some buttercream for everybody, for every bite when they taste it. But this is what it looks like in the end. And it's not pretty, but it is delicious. It's the next morning. Last night went pretty well, I would say. I am not I haven't done this before. I'm not very good at it. I don't have the skill set. So you're literally watching me try to build up the skills. So the mistakes and probably the things that need to be improved on, that list is going to be quite high. But in saying that, it was still a good night. We spent it time with family. We were able to enjoy really good food. As you can see, the chow mein turned out pretty good. I would say that I probably added too many noodles. I did double the recipe from what was asked, but it was really difficult to mix it all in properly. So if I had been better prepared, I think that I probably should just done one. There's plenty of food for everyone, and we've got plenty of leftover chow mein, which that's just going to be my lunch and dinner for a while, which I'm actually quite happy with because that means I don't have to worry about cooking this morning or today for later on tonight. But also the dumplings, they were really delicious, but they were very difficult to get out of the pan. I feel like I needed a stainless steel pan. I don't have stainless steel, I only have cast iron. The cast iron wasn't seasoned properly, so that made it a little bit harder to do what it needed to do. And also my timing was so off this time around because half an hour before I had planned to actually start the cooking process, little miss woke up and then needed a feed for about an hour and a half, which is just so fun. And you do what you have to. Babies come first. They come first over all the cooking. I'm so glad that I did all that prep work beforehand, but you know, everybody's arriving and I'm still cooking, which actually wasn't that bad of a deal because it was pretty hot. Daylight savings has kicked in, so even though we were eating at 5, it felt like 4 because that had been the norm for that time. So we ate a little bit later than planned, but it really worked out well. And it was all delicious. My cake, I wish that I'd had that decorated beforehand. And also, I'm just not a good cake decorator. It's just not my skill set. Maybe if I'd done the 3 layers, or maybe if I had actual like proper pans, the 9-inch round pans. I only have one. And so I filled that and cut it in half. And I think that just makes it look real squat and flat. I think I want actual individual cakes. So I think that might be an investment I want to do. And the buttercream didn't turn out everything tasted amazing. I just want that to be noted. That lemon curd, oh, that lemon curd. The cake was really soft and had like a gentle lemon flavor. And then the lemon curd was real punchy, sweet, tart. It was really good. And the buttercream, the strawberries, really lovely. I wish I'd had fresh strawberries to put on top, which was the original plan, but I just ran out of time. I was making it while everyone was finishing up dinner, so it was a little bit all over the place, but really delicious. In fact, this is all that we have left for today, which is fine. I sent a bunch home with people. And I still have that extra cake around because I ended up using it because I just thought it's just gonna be too much cake. My brother also brought some ice creams for the kids, so a lot of people had ice cream cones. So all over, it was very successful. But the great thing is, this is a monthly occurrence, which means that I have each month to get a little bit better, and I will. So what I want to work on, because that's what we're doing. We're not saying that they're negatives, we are just trying to find ways to improve. So what we're going to work on, we're going to work on timing, a big one. I have a newborn there, so we're going to give ourselves a lot of grace. Timing. We're also going to work on some of our recipes. Maybe do a small batch recipe test and our presentation, because it has much to be desired. All in all though, those recipes were really good. So I'll make sure everything's linked down below. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. A little bit different to my grocery hauls that I do, and I will continue to do grocery hauls. So this is kind of an added extra that I want to start incorporating. And if you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to see, more than happy to take that on board, and I can try and give that a go. So I showed you how I made Sunday dinner, and I showed you the truth of it, that I'm not perfect at it, that I'm not amazing at it, but I had a lot of fun and lots of improvement and lots of opportunity, because I'm going to get good at hosting. That's a goal of mine. I really want to get good at hosting, and right now the focus is on really good food that looks and tastes amazing. We've got the taste, we need the presentation to be improved. So thanks guys for watching. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Most of you who watch this video are not subscribed. I come out with videos like this all the time. It's a little bit all over the place. Like I said, it's not a how-to channel. It's a follow along the journey, and not a perfect channel by far, but I think that's what makes it fun and interesting. I appreciate it, guys. We're gonna go head out and do something fun today, but I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya. Bye.